Hello, this is Myra Elaine on the Buying Space Channel. I continue my series through Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I am in Luke chapter 1, and today we're covering the birth of John the Baptist. When it was time for Elizabeth's baby to be born, she gave birth to a son. And her neighbors and relatives heard that the Lord had been very merciful to her. Everyone rejoiced with her. When the baby was 8 days old, they all came for the circumcision ceremony. They wanted to name him Zachariah after his father, but Elizabeth said, "No, his name is John." "What?" they exclaimed. "There is no one in your family by that name." So they used gestures to ask the baby's father what he wanted to name him. He motioned for a writing tablet. To everyone's surprise, he wrote, "His name is John." Instantly, Zachariah could speak again and began praising God. Awe fell upon the whole neighborhood, and the news of what had happened spread throughout Judea, the Judean hills. Everyone who heard about it reflected on those events and asked, "What will this child turn out to be?" For the hand of the Lord was surely upon him in a special way. This scene is so awe-inspiring because Zechariah had an angel come to him in the temple and tell him that him and Elizabeth were going to have a child, that Elizabeth was going to get pregnant. And Zechariah was like, "Wait a minute, we're old. That can't happen." And so the angel silenced him during the pregnancy. He had not been able to speak. That day, he went out of the temple. He was doing duties at the temple, and the people had been waiting on him. And when he came out, he couldn't speak, and they knew from his gestures that he had had a vision or visitation in the temple. But all that time, he hadn't been able to tell them what had been said. But he knew that the baby's name was going to be John. And he knew he came through the spirit of Elijah. And John's entire life, even before he was born, they knew he was a miracle baby from God. They knew that he was going to be a helpmate to Jesus that wasn't even yet born. All of Jesus's parents and family, and all of both John's parents and family and the whole neighborhood knew from the very beginning how special John the Baptist was and how even more special Jesus was going to be. They all knew it. When these children were conceived and during the pregnancy, this was known. So their entire lives, Jesus and John the Baptist knew this, and they knew the Old Testament prophecies. Zechariah was a Levite. He was a priest at the temple. He knew all these teachings. Elizabeth, Joseph, and Mary knew all these teachings. And these Jesus and John the Baptist were taught this from their earliest childhood. It was known. Think about that. Have a wonderful and blessed day, everyone.